We're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women, we are Violent Wrestling Podcast. It is a Wednesday. It's a little past our starting time, which is no fault to anybody else's, but Metal Matt, no, anyway, Metal Matt is obviously not with us at the moment. He is currently working. He will be here as soon as possible. So, with that, I'll get to the introductions of, as always, the founder, the princess of violent wrestling, Miss, the one, the only, Ambrose Alley.
Hello, everyone.
Before I get to the other introduction, and I'm cringing at myself. Um, she had a hardcore match today that she lost against Asphalt, and get feeling better soon.
There was enough LOL in there that
We'll get. Well, let me introduce the this guy, and again the our go-to for reasonable conversation most of the time. Our stats guy and our always. I don't like calling you stats guy because you're so much more, but you're like our encyclopedia of information, Mr. Adam Rice.
it's good to be here as always.
Um, and again, Meadow Matt will be here as soon as possible. I keep trying to tell him, dude, pods come before work. Like, get your get your priorities straight. But he never listens, and so here we are. Do you want to real quick dive into what happened today, AA, or do you just want to leave that up to the imagination?
No, actually, what happened, folks? I was coming out of Wendy's and I stepped down off a curb, and somehow the curb tripped me up, and I ended up face first on the asphalt. And I look like I've been in a bar fight.
And I've seen pictures, I've seen evidence. Um, it's almost like CCW would be proud, if not jealous, of. I'm just glad you're okay.
She is telling everybody that she's been in a bar fight, by the way.
Yes, I mean that was blatant. Like, okay, so from the I almost said the curb stomp. We'll call it the curb trip. What was worse, the bar fight or the curb trip? What hurt worse?
The bar fight hurt worse.
Ah, glad you're okay, and well, and in my always famous words, glad you're doing better. You look like shit. I say that to everybody. Like, how are you feeling? I feel okay. Well, you look like shit. That's just one of my things. But yeah, she AA sent some pictures and damn, like
Well,
Had to have
don't
proof.
don't fight the asphalt. Just
asphalt always wins.
Yes, it does.
but okay. Now it's just a relatable question. What were you getting from Wendy's?
Let's see. Oh, I tried their barbecue cheeseburger, which is actually delicious, and I had a frosty.
You and your Frosties. You always get a Frosty from Wendy's, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
It's like one of those things.
But I tell you guys have to try their barbecue cheeseburgers.
Might have to
I
put
will
that on
put.
the list. Oh
I,
shit.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'll definitely put that on the list. Okay, so barbecue cheeseburger, Frosty. Knowing the outcome of the entire situation, was it worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
Part two. Did you put the cold frosty on your face?
Damn.
It was already cold outside.
All right, enough probing Miss Allie for information on her accident. There's been
And by the way, well,
breaking.
apparently, we're being promoted by two different people now, Burger King and Wendy's. Or yeah, so we're moving on up in the world.
We're
But go
getting
ahead
no
with
money.
maybe Virgil money, maybe. Um,
I, I,
what's some breaking news, Rice?
um, well, our first topic that we wanted to get into was a piece of movie news
And this
that
is
came.
literally just to put this in perspective. Literally something to talk about while we wear it on Metal Mat. Literally, that's. But
So
go ahead.
a little early on today, it broke that Netflix and the production company that I do not have the name of currently, but it's part owned by Bradley Cooper, star of recently A Star is Born, The Hangover, and many other projects.
Rocket
Um,
Raccoon, the voice of Rocket
Rock,
Raccoon.
of course. They have tabbed Chris Hemsworth, Thor, to play one Hulk Hogan in a biopic that will also be executive produced by Hogan and Eric Bischoff, among
I
others.
was I was hoping you'd bring up that Bischoff was producing as well.
We don't know. We don't have a release date. We don't really have a cast. What we do know is that the movie is not going to be a full biopic. It is only going to cover the quote unquote rise of Hulkamania. So we won't get any early fat little Terry Bollea. We won't get any of the post
Save
WWE
that for
stuff.
when he's on trial.
Right. None of the controversies. We're only going to get Hulkamania era. And for those of you thinking, well, this is only going to be a whitewashed telling of that era,
You're right.
you're right.
It's
You
going
are
to
Because
correct, sir.
it's going to show him in the best light.
You have won the $1 million prize that if
We don't
anybody
have.
here yeah, well, if anybody ever here ever wins like when it gets to $1 billion jackpot, you might see a couple $1,000, but
it.
the,
Uh, and look, I'm not saying there isn't stories that you could. There are stories you could tell about that era, about him
definitely.
specifically. The problem is they're not going to tell them. So you
And
run into a situation where who is this movie for?
and just when I thought I couldn't love you anymore, you put what I was gonna try to say, how I was gonna try to my first question. Who is this movie for? You put it perfectly. Who is this for? Besides the one, the only Hulk Hogan. Who
Yeah,
is this for?
doesn't this feel like a vanity project?
Very much so. I
It
mean,
feels
very
like
much.
I love myself project is what it feels like.
It that and it feels like at the same time, and you had to be specific with Hulk Hogan here since that's I, I was I was everything. I was still something. I was still kind of something, and now I'm the most, one of the most, if not the most, hated man in all of sports entertainment.
There is a
Let's try.
story.
Go ahead.
Here's the way I look at it. Can you still tell a satisfying story about how this guy was a megastar? Yeah, but you, you're not
You
going to tell.
can
Go
not
ahead.
not with the who's producing it, and it would have to be a complete third party telling truths to some degree without it being a whitewashing and a very biased, let's make it look in the best of light scenario.
You wouldn't
That
want
story is
Spike
still
Lee
there.
doing it.
Oh, damn.
The, right. It's the man directing it is Todd Phillips. We do know who the director is. And for those who
Wait, what? Whoa. The infamous Todd Phillips from the backstage segments with Chris Jericho, Todd Phillips.
no, this is the
Did
guy who
please tell me you got the reference of Tom and Todd and
I got it. You.
I just
I'm pouring one out for that pun right now. Um, Todd Phillips,
that's just a
who
waste of alcohol.
exactly. Um, Todd Phillips is the guy who directed all three Hangover movies. He was nominated for his work on the screenplay for Borat. So they got someone who has had success as a director. Again, I'm going to ask, who is this movie for? Because anybody who's going to want to go back and relive the no, man, I remember when Hulk Hogan was when I was a kid. All those people were 50 and 60 years old.
Sir, sir,
I'm talking
sir,
about the heyday of Mania, sir.
sir,
You're old, deal
sir,
with it.
sir. We'll deal with this off air.
I'm speaking mainly of my mother, who is in her 50s, who says, I remember watching Hulk Hogan. I remember when that was a big deal at the
And
peak of
say
his
that
career.
to answer your question legitimately, that would be the only um demographics not the right word because I'm not saying 50-year-old moms, but that would be the only appeal to those that don't know anything else and like quit watching during the 80s, early 80s, and they just know the Hulkamania area or the Hulkamania era. That's that'd be
So
the that
please
and the
continue.
people that want to, let's see how whitewashed and let's see how they spin this shit, people. which I might fall in one of those categories.
Well, and so okay, so there's that nostalgia demographic. You're not going to get any younger audiences and really involved because I mean, or any really informed wrestling fans. I mean, we all know how much of a politician Hogan was in the back, how much the tremendous amount of drugs he was on.
And we're not just talking about
Hulk
steroids here, kids.
Hulk Hogan could probably do a line back in '83 that's 3 foot long of nothing but pure Colombian coke.
Okay, Hulk Hogan would put, Scarface to shame.
So I mean, and then you have to deal with some of the things like Hogan killed the wrestlers union. So I mean, this guy has had a negative impact on the business that's almost as great as his positive impact. The money, the attention. Guys were making more money lower down on the card just because Hogan was on the card. And
Right.
they've all said that.
The the eat your vitamins, say your prayers stuff that did have impact on kids in the that time frame.
Yes. Turns out it was all bullshit, but uh
Well, true, but it had an impact on kids, and you can't deny that it did.
right. So
Kids ate
I
that up, and they wanted to. Oh, I'm gonna say my prayers, eat my vitamins, and his list, and it was all a facade.
so I'm personally not excited for this movie. There's I can smell the cans of white paint from here. The paint
So
over
let's
all of the bad stuff.
let's get into interesting or more interesting topic of this movie. Who plays who?
I was getting ready to ask. I'm gonna give you guys 4 names, and you have to pick who you'd like to see play them. We already know Hemsworth is Hogan. By the way, Chris Hemsworth is a better looking man than Hulk Hogan ever thought about being in the 80s.
That's damn true.
No argument.
So here are your 4 names: Vince McMahon, Randy Savage.
Well, let's do one by one. Name the
Okay,
name, and we'll guess actors.
Vince
Vince
McMahon.
McMahon. Shit. And just off the top of my head, who did they have pegged for Vince playing the Vince biopic?
Isn't that Brolin?
Was it Brolin?
And not James Brolin, everybody. It's
Josh,
Josh
his son,
Brolin.
Yeah.
his son, Josh.
Oh, surely, surely people. Well, I mean, um,
And by the way, I'm looking it up right now. There was no cast for the Vince McMahon biopic at this time.
yeah, because that I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
I don't
It
either.
might happen, but it's not. When it first got announced, like they're doing a Vince biopic, and like there was a big to do, and then nothing, and I don't think that's gonna actually transpire in anything. But
No. But I think
playing Vince, hmm, Roland's a good call. You know who just for fuck its sake? just, excuse me, on meds, Vince Vaughn. Fuck it.
I've heard that because Vince Vaughn is like legitimately 6'4". He's a big guy. I don't think Vince is that tall, but
He's not.
I I could see Vince Vaughn doing it. Um, I could see
And look who the director is.
True. Speaking of the director, I could see playing a young Vince McMahon. I could see Bradley Cooper doing it. I mean,
Yeah, see, this is where we have to come up with a shoot hard time, like because I could see Bradley being Shane later.
well, remember in the where this is only focusing on the Hulkamania era, Shane was in college, if not a little bit younger. So I don't think Bradley could play as Shane. Uh, okay, number two, Randy Savage.
How long do you want to grow your hair, John Cena? How long do you want to grow your hair?
See, thing with Savages, it has to be somebody who can bulk up and be crazy. And that's
Animal from the Muppets.
mm, nice shout. I don't think he's available. Uh, uh, see,
Yeah, Savage, when you posed this question earlier, Savage is going to be a hard, like, pick.
yeah. How about Joe Manganiello?
To a degree, I could see that possibly working, but
Joe's too
to a bit,
tall.
yeah,
That's
that
true.
and to another degree, I don't see that.
Because I think Joe's
It,
taller than Hemsworth.
Yeah. I mean, they're both big. Yeah. Okay. How about a guy like? Well, no. See, that'd be a
Seth
little.
Rollins, because we've all seen frizzy haired Seth Rollins.
Yeah. I think you'd almost have to have a wrestler play Savage because no one else is really going to know how to be that. Um, coked up.
Damn.
Sandow.
Sandow could do it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Um,
Uh,
fucking put Bailey in there.
that'd be fun. A little out there, but fun.
This is what happens when Matt's not here to keep
Do his
us.
job.
Yeah.
Number three, because I don't think we're going to settle on a Savage. Um,
Number, if it's the who I think it is, go ahead.
I'm going to switch it up. Mr. T.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Go ahead.
Again, there's a brand of crazy that you have to be to play Mr. T.
Oh,
Um,
well, literally today, Hulk posted a picture of him and Jamie Foxx together.
I don't think Jamie Foxx would do it. But I mean,
Hell
I
to
think
the no. I'm just saying, like, conspiracy theorist here.
what about Anthony Mackie, the guy who plays Falcon?
Eh,
The silence tells me everything I need to know.
I'm trying to picture him.
Donald Glover Jr. maybe.
O'Shea Jackson.
I could see that. Yeah.
Ice Cube son.
Fuck it. Get Ice Cube to do it.
Ice Cube could do it.
Like, go all in with it.
I think that'd be fun. And finally, to wrap it up, because I can hear Mox chomping at the bit.
Yes. Yes. Because I get the first answer.
You can't tell the story of Hulkamania without Randy Savage. And you can't have Randy Savage without Miss Elizabeth.
And if you choose anybody as Miss Elizabeth other than Maya Mitchell, you're doing it wrong.
And for those who don't know who Maya Mitchell is, she's on Freeform's Good Trouble, which I haven't seen the show, but I've seen Maya Mitchell, and
Uh, she started she started Freeform on the Fosters. Maya Mitchell would be a perfect Miss Elizabeth.
I've been thinking about it, and I'm gonna run some other names here because why the hell not? Um,
The fact that you said that you've been thinking about it like just leads too much into your personal life, but that's
I'm
neither here
a
nor there.
I'm a degenerate and a horrible person, so is
He's
what
an
it is.
Ohioan. That's what they
I
do.
hate you. Um, th- Playing Elizabeth again, that's a tough deal. But I could see again none of this is going to happen, folks. We're just essentially fantasy booking. Um,
They and before you say nothing can happen, Selena Vega played AJ Lee in Paige's biopic. So, like,
True.
not everything's out of the spectrum.
Um, Thinking Brie Larson. I'm thinking um, oh crap. There
Put Tony Storm in a wig. I'm happy.
number one Tony Storm mark here, everybody.
Did I make that too obvious?
Yes.
No, not at all.
Or, well, Selena's obviously shorter, but have Selena be in two different biopics. In the Paige
Miss Elizabeth.
biopic and the Hulk Hogan. Have her play AJ Lee and Miss Elizabeth.
Pretty sure Elizabeth isn't Hispanic.
Um, sir, you want to check on my Mitchell's
Maya
credentials?
Mitchell is Australian. I am aware, sir.
Okay, with what kind of descent?
Well, she's. I'm not going to reveal how I know that. The bottom line is,
Anyway,
we can go on with that forever. The bottom line is, they're going to do this movie. It's going to be on Netflix. I'm personally not going to watch it unless someone recommends it to me. I
this is
know.
definitely where Netflix and chill, if it wasn't already dead, it dies here. Hey, Netflix and chill, let's watch the Hulk Hogan movie.
No.
Like,
And you know, it's funny to me, although there hasn't been any official connection, that what was it, just a few weeks ago, WWE announced their film deal with Netflix.
Yes.
And what's the first movie we hear about? A Hulk Hogan biopic. That, my friends, is what you call synergy.
Or lack thereof, depending
Or
on
lack
how you
thereof.
look.
It's all bad, folks. It's all bad. But hey, I hope Chris Hemsworth is getting a fat paycheck
It
Well,
because
depends
how he
he.
on,
can afford it.
depends on what size of a paycheck, depending on which Hulk Hogan or Terry Bollea you're talking about. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Hey, you got some RMP news for us?
I got some great RMP news for you. The GM of RMP, my boy, had a tryout for Impact Wrestling.
Nice.
And he had that. Marty the Moth is going to be coming back and he's going to be on RMP on Thursday on Ignition and Charged, and then again Friday night at the Rack House in Denver. I'm going to be going Friday night as long as the weather stays cool and doesn't do any of its funny stuff.
And you quit tripping over curbs and stuff, you know.
And I quit getting into matches with the asphalt.
I mean, I know you're extreme hardcore, but damn, like slow it down a little bit.
I guess I put the Violent and Violent Wrestling podcast.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to commit the violence onto yourself.
It wasn't my fault. The curb tripped me up.
That's what they all say.
It's true. I blame the
um,
curb.
and and something that I found out this past week that even AA was like, you didn't know that? I I pay attention to social media. I just sometimes, to me, two plus two equals three or something. That Anaya and Aligato are married with a kid, and
A cute
I
little
was like,
girl.
she's gorgeous. Like as long as I've been keeping up with Rocky Mountain Pro, when I saw that Valentine's thing, like, oh, well, here I am looking stupid. Not like I hit on either one of them because they're both good-looking people, but like, um, things I learned today.
You know, I actually just had a topic pop in my head that,
Oh
while
God,
related to this past Monday, it will not directly deal with what happened on the show. I have noticed on social media over the course of the last few days, everybody shitting on the crowd at the Monday Night Raw out of Lafayette,
can they stop it,
Louisiana.
please?
What does the IWC want? If you sit down and watch the show and don't react to being a shitty crowd, if you're at WrestleMania or at a Big Four pay per view and you're kicking up beach balls and all those other things and chanting for yourself, you're obviously a shitty crowd. So what is it? If you're going to pay
I,
the money that the WWE is asking you to pay to go to a Monday Night Raw or a Friday or a SmackDown Live, you have the right to act however you choose,
within reason.
within reason.
and that and that's the whole issue. They didn't act any way that was out of reason. This is I was hoping Matt would be here by now, but um, in fact, it going on 10 o'clock. If he's not here, I might have to open the nightly because he had it closed, and sometimes they keep them longer when they close. But I get like there wasn't like, oh my God, Stone Cold's coming through the huge pops. I get that. I get that completely. But for the shit the Lafayette, Louisiana crowd has been given is unjustified by every measure in any measurable way possible. But they got DIY versus
The revival.
okay. Guess what, folks? Things that everybody knows. Not everybody watches DIY or NXT. Not everybody knows. Not everybody knows who these people are. I know I'm sounding sacrilege. You don't watch NXT? You don't know who these people are? Guess what? Some people, a lot of people don't. And those include people that pay money to go see main roster shows. They don't know who these people are.
Mox, on average, how many viewers does Monday Night Raw get?
On average, just off the top of my head. And the conservative, 2.5,
How many subscribers are there to the WWE network? Would you guess there is
1.6,
just in North America?
1.6. Oh, just in North America,
Yeah.
1.2.
What if I told you if it was only somewhere in the 1 million range? Probably less.
I said 1.2. Their overall has hit anywhere from 1.6 to 1.8. Like Jesus fucking and sorry AA, and I apologize to myself because I don't. Jesus fucking Christ, cut the crowd some slack because they don't know who these people are.
My point is that if there's if the subscriptions are only about half of what the average viewing attendance of a Raw is, that means roughly half of the viewing audience doesn't know who the flying fuck Ricochet is.
Right.
And that's okay.
Perfectly fine. And how they introduced it into the bigger audience of who's actually watching Raw, of who, oh, this Ricochet guy is really good. It's not about the 6,000 people that were in attendance that were like, oh, 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 okay. It's about the 3.01 million people they drew the first hour that were saying, oh, who's this guy? Oh, I want to see more of him. Oh, okay, now we are going in a different direction. But you get these people that might as well bang your head up against a tree stump. It was a shit crowd. A shit crowd. They were dead silent. They were. I don't care. There's few and far between crowds that would like the WrestleMania after or the Raw after WrestleMania crowd. And since They're doing three in a row, the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Like those crowds would get it, but I
Nah,
would rather, and I will go ahead and say this, and I'll put my name on it. My name is D Carter. You Prince Moxley Lopez, Fireman 6809. I will put it out there on my name. I'd rather have the crowd at Lafayette, Louisiana, that just happened this past Monday, than motherfuckers chanting shit. You suck, Cena. You suck, Cena. And
I'd
playing beach
rather.
balls and shit in the background. Fuck a bunch of that. They enjoyed the show. I'm sorry they didn't. Woo! Because there was some NXT people coming to the ring that they weren't quite familiar with or were looking to see what they could do on the big stage, if you will. Fuck a bunch of that. That argument, that whole narrative is sick of how well, they're depressed. They need to be on medicine or something because well they're gonna get rain nine out of 10 days and fuck all of that. I'd rather have that crowd versus some of the other fucking crowds that I've actually been in that I didn't participate in but have been in and have watched on TV. Fuck you guys for saying how shit that crowd was. Okay, were they a little quiet? Okay, I get that. But were they taking away from the show? Not at all. Were you pissed off because they didn't? Woo! Because Ricochet came out and saved Finn Balor? That's on you more than them. So fuck you.
Look at that, everyone. We got a Mox rant tonight.
Well, I can't stand that shit.
Look, I agree. There, we have seen crowds who've hijacked shows, and we
Yeah,
call them shitty, and rightfully so. And we've
there's
seen
a
towns
difference
like
between a shitty crowd. A shitty crowd says you suck, Cena. You and you know
the
man.
beach balls.
If this
The,
was a crowd after WrestleMania, um, let's pinpoint 2 years ago the crowd after WrestleMania. Let's pinpoint that. You want that crowd? I don't.
it's fun to see people engaged, and you want to see people engaged because the crowd's engagement does affect what you're seeing through your television screen. I mean,
And they
there's
were.
the where the line gets drawn is when we have seen really shitty crowds that are silent, like Corpus Christi. Sorry to throw y'all under the bus, but y'all haven't been a good town. And we've seen places like Brooklyn and Chicago and Philly and wherever Mania is that particular year because of all the influx of people who just want to party the entire show and God F anybody who is in the ring at that particular time. Those are shitty crowds. And I am
So
going to call
how's
them out.
Matt posting a nightly and not in the podcast? How's this happening?
Get his little ass in here.
I
The,
mean, we're just now getting to the wrestling shit.
and so there are two ends of the spectrum here. Neither are good. But what that Lafayette crowd was, it wasn't a bad crowd. They may not have just liked what they were seeing. They may have not been interacting with the show the way you would have, but they paid 150, 200, 300, $400 in some cases. And I understand there's lesser tickets than that, but they paid the money to get in. They have earned the right to say whatever they want, do and act however they want, within reason. Let them. Let's stop shitting on crowds. If you
Until
enjoyed
the
seeing
crowd
Ricochet,
legitimately earns to be shat on.
right? If you
This crowd
enjoyed
did not
seeing,
to be deserved to be shat on as much as. But they sat on their hands during DIY versus Revival. Everybody's been asking for that for years. They just. That's not how it
uh,
works, dude.
now, well, I will say, did they debut these NXT guys the way I would have? No, they didn't.
Oh, and a quick side note, can we say some of the surprise was hindered by Triple H announcing all of them at the very beginning of the show?
Yes,
Would that have some part?
we had to
Oh,
endure,
so
Not yet.
go ahead.
we had to endure that. And now that our friend is almost here, we'll get to it. Um,
Hello, VWP. How's it been?
Metal Matt!
It's
Shun
been
the
a
unbeliever.
long time.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, Metal Matt.
But
Hello.
so we had to endure for those introductions another Hunter Hearst Helmsley promo for the. I can't count how many Triple H promos I have had to sit through in my life that opened them up for Monday Night Raw. You want to
You know what would have
introduce?
been,
You
and I
want
know Matt just got here, and we'll put a paper clip on this real quick. You know what would have been better? That introduction, as bad as Triple H introductions can go, but because he was basically doing a the future is now, we are NXT, we are here. He was basically, don't fucking throw it to vignettes of who's gonna be there. Leave it, and yes, it was all over the dirt sheets, and even WWE confirmed who was gonna be there. So be it. Just do, if nothing else, do that, and then who's coming out, like who, something. But do not. The crowd blame on this episode is blown way out of proportion. It's, well, they just sat on their hands. For one, no, they fucking didn't. Like, you guys have a selective hearing or something. They didn't just sit on their hands. But
they were just
anyway,
not as active as you want them to be at home. But guess what? It is not your call. So, paper clipping that. Welcome in, Matt. How are you?
Hello, Adam.
Well,
you
sir.
got Burger King, didn't you? I can smell it on your breath.
Wait,
So,
what?
do you have
You,
Burger King, Matt?
No, I had a McChicken from McDonald's.
ooh.
That's not really chicken. I hate to tell you.
Damn.
They found that
Spoiler
on the
alert.
side of the road.
And the Browns aren't really a football team.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'm just messing with you, Adam.
is my severance pay ready yet?
Oops, I knew there was something I forgot to do.
oh,
Ah, shit.
oh, his severance pay?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh. I think what she's saying is she severed your severance pay.
Oh, this is bullshit.
Tell you what. Um, to get to catch Matt up real quick. Basically, the most of what we talked about is the new um, news of Hogan's biopic coming out. We waited for you as long as we could, and then got into
The
and we
crowd.
didn't even really get into Raw. We just got into the crowd at Raw.
So, should we just go ahead and dive into Monday Night Raw?
You gonna let Matt eat his dinner, or
Oh, God. Working with these people, I swear to God.
sir? If you quit, you don't get a severance pay. That's
Uh,
just
Oh, he loves us.
sure.
I
Yeah.
know he lo I know he loves me, but for different reasons than podcasting with him. Um, Matt, seriously, do you need a minute to eat, or have you already?
No, no, I'm good.
Um, just real quick, since it was like the first hour of the conversation, just a quick synopsis of Hulk Hogan having a biopic coming out.
What are your thoughts on Hulk Hogan getting his own movie that he's not starring in?
I mean, it doesn't shock me. I don't know if the timing's right, but
No, the timing is god awful.
You can tell Matt just got home because if you don't hear his cat in the background,
yeah.
metal, metal, metal.
And then it just latches onto your throat. Uh,
Do not sleep with pigs. That's also been something
you,
we talked.
you had to bring that up. Okay, I'm just going to talk about it. There is a picture going around for those of you who care, and I know many of you don't, of Alexa Bliss with her pet pig, Larry Steve. The pig and Alexa are laying in her bed. The pig is as big as the bed. It's its bed now. Look, Alexa only rents it out. It's the pig's bed now.
The pig is bigger than Alexa.
The pig weighs more. I can guarantee it.
And for those that have seen pictures, like I'm not a small gentleman. I'm 6'4", 200, and I bring up Shadow. He's a puppy. He he's a year old. He yeah.
This
I can relate to
this
Alexa.
pig could take Shadow in a fight. I'm half certain.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. Just
All we're saying is, Alexa, please be careful because pigs eat people, and they don't care if they're alive or dead. That's all we're saying. Larry Steve might be better off as a pack of Oscar Mayer bacon. Just saying.
well, and
You
that's
might.
not just a. Not even an if. Larry Steve would definitely be better off as a pack of bacon.
Because bacon is awesome.
So, with that being said, I'm obviously facing Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania.
Thank you,
For the
Meltzer.
champ.
Ah, stupid, stupid, stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we can't just jump from Raw to SmackDown, but we will get to the stupid, stupid, stupid stuff.
So I guess we can dive into Raw here. Eliminated from those we were talking about Lafayette, Louisiana. Show opens up. Triple H in ring, and he kind of touches on a few different things. The announcement that D Generation X will be headlining, most likely, the this year's class of the WWE Hall of Fame. And for those who are wondering, what do they mean by DX? All of DX is going in. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, X Pac, New Age Outlaws, and probably most importantly, China. This,
And to touch on that, Rick Rude doesn't get in. Rick Rude was in DX for 3 weeks. Come on, guys.
Hashtag justice for Tory.
Okay, that's a good point.
Metal Matt comes in firing.
That is actually a good point. Good shout, Matt. Tori probably does belong. You could argue Stephanie McMahon belongs.
And Hornswoggle doesn't belong.
No, get that shit out.
I was
But
I was gonna say the same thing about Steph, like just on principle.
right, um, s- that is obviously a worthy induction. I'm
Yes,
kind of halfway on the. Is this them trying to get China in through the side door? Probably, if I had to guess. But the family's happy. The fans seem to be happy. I'm cool with it. Um, God knows who inducts them, but if I had to take,
NWO.
I could see.
Hey, Hogan's got a movie to promote.
Don't don't put that evil on me. If anybody, it's probably Vince. Um,
Or Mike Tyson.
s- I don't want to sit through that speech.
Well, we're already guaranteed that there won't be any 60-minute long Broadway speeches.
Thank you, X Pac. Um,
And who is still the man? You are hot bike.
oh God. He's now quoting random Attitude Era promos, people. We are screwed.
We should have gone quicker so when he got home, like, sorry, we're already off air. Sorry.
you're the one that in the nightly said post. Hey, we're waiting for you, Mel Matt.
Yeah, and I regretted it instantly.
So Hunter was doing his promo, and it's like we were just mentioning. He basically says NXT is here, the future is now. Insert branding line here, and he introduces um, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, and Aleister Black, and said they were all. But said they were all going to be competing that night. And this sort of became the story of the show. Um,
Who, who, when, and where, and how?
right. Colonel Mustard in the library with the red.
I go for every time I play Clue. Like I always lose, but it's always Carter Mustard in the library with a lead pipe. Like
It's
I overshoot my goals.
they and the first one up was Ricochet, was it not?
Yes, Ricochet. The first it opens up with a tables match, and see, this is what kind of killed things. Is after the announcement, we get a tables match. Guess what? Between Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman. Woo!
Oh,
My panties are moist for this one.
well, I just learned several things I didn't need to
Well, I
know.
think that's a more of a personal problem, but
Yes. Oh, excuse me. You said Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman in a tables match? Just 1 second. If that
Sir,
did,
don't make them moister.
if that is not the cure for insomnia, I don't know what is.
Oh, but let's blame Lafayette, Louisiana's crowd for like the
Yeah,
rest of the show.
right.
Like
They
started off with the match that happened after this, and they might have come out of like whatever people want to say they were in.
right.
But let's start it off with this.
What sense did it make for Hunter to come out, introduce the NXT talent, and then cut to a match nobody gives a fuck about? It kills everything. It kills your immediate announcement. And he said, and to start off with with these young kids, we're going to have Finn Balor and Ricochet, the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor and Ricochet go 1-on-1 with Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush, which is what happened. They got to it, but that's what
Uh,
happened.
yeah, it took
Oh,
20 minutes of this boring ass.
and keep in mind that this match, the Corbin Strowman match, didn't follow any precedent from the night before. The night
Oh,
before the Elimination Chamber, it was a no DQ match that it gets interrupted where Corbin gets help from Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. The very next night in a tables match, which has no DQ rules, nobody comes out to help Corbin.
yeah, this, it was basically like if you were a struggling kid, and I'm not gonna admit or not admit, um, hey, I know you had to eat out of, a canned food, a cat food can last night, but tonight we're gonna have steak. But to hold you over, here's some cat food in a can as your snack. Like, what was the purpose of we're in a new era? We're going. Oh no, I'm still eating cat food.
They, yeah, they did. The whole opening of the show was contradictory to the story from Elimination Chamber and the story that Hunter just set up. So
Yeah,
I'm not even.
it was even worse. It was like, well, we're out of cat food. Here's some spoiled cat food.
It,
Enjoy.
yeah, I'm not even going to
Here's
cut.
some spoiled cat food with some tape on some ribs.
I'm not even going to talk about the match. Strowman wins. I don't care. It was almost like a make good, but I don't care. Let's get to what people care about. Finn and Finn comes out. Lashley and Rush come out. I think they kind of start to surround him. Out comes Ricochet, does some acrobatic stuff with Leo on the outside. It becomes a tag match. And I mean, this was great. I mean, I'm going to give the match a solid B, but
The worst part about this was Finn coming out, Bobby coming out, Leo coming out, and like, oh, here we go again. Like, same thing we watched last night, handicap match. Ricochet's music hits. Here comes Ricochet commercial. We come
again,
back to a tag team match.
in progress.
Yes.
Could they have literally cut Ricochet at the knees anymore? He had a great match. He did his Ricochet stuff. He's a fantastic talent. But again, they didn't as
You
much
know
as
who came? If you're, it's a great way to introduce Ricochet to the mainstream. When I say mainstream, the main roster audience. Great way to introduce Ricochet. You know who came out of this looking like a star? Leo Rush.
amazing what happens when you put somebody in the ring and let them do their thing. And I get, and we heard a little bit this week that Leo Rush apparently isn't the most fun guy to be around.
Yeah, that's a different topic,
But
but
the
then
guy's
we already
talented.
know that with the whole
Yes.
Emma. Yeah, like,
If
but
Leo's
they
on
actually
Raw,
made him look. They made Leo look like a star in this match.
yes, they did, and I'm glad they did. And they put him there in there with a couple guys who know how to work with a guy like Leo, and that's Ricochet and Finn Balor. So those are all good things. But again, they for all the pomp and circumstance of the NXT announcement, they didn't help Ricochet. But the important thing is Ricochet's team got the win, and Ricochet's hand got raised. And what?
And like I will always say, because I'm such a big fan, Ricochet helps Ricochet.
Yes, Matt.
Just the more you watch Ricochet, if you don't fall more in love with Ricochet, then
Yeah, the guy's he's fantastic. I understand a lot of his stuff isn't to everybody's liking, but the dude's the superstar. They can. He is someone you look at and go, yeah, yeah, he can be a star. Matt, what did you think of this match or this opening to Raw anyway?
I thought it was pretty good. It definitely felt desperate for ratings, I think. Because it just kind of came out of nowhere, I think. It's like, oh, all of a sudden, these NXT stars are now in the main roster. It just kind of came out of nowhere. In the case of Aleister Black, it's something that really should have happened a long time ago.
I would
but
agree with that.
and see that's where I agree with Matt, but this wasn't a call up.
No, because they have already said that all four of those guys are going to be working all three shows. So they're working
But
Raws, they're working SmackDowns, and they're working NXT.
Which
in
is
defense of
translate,
all that, go ahead,
which is
Matt. Sorry.
translation, which is translation for yeah, we were forced to bring these guys up. We have no clue what to do with them. So here you go.
In defense, and I hate being that guy, but in defense, the first hour of Raw drew three, yes, 3.05 viewers.
The first
Three.
hour
They
of Raw did a 3.05. That is huge. When you consider in that first hour they gave us that horrible Corbin Strowman thing, the Balor Ricochet Rush Lashley, and by 9:30 they gave us DIY Revival. So encompassed in that first hour, they gave us three of the four call-ups or introductions or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
What that tells
But
me
go
is the
ahead.
home audience cared about what they saw.
It kept their interest.
It kept their interest. The news
It
leaked out. People tuned in to see it. That's a good first step. Matt is right. It is absolutely desperation for ratings.
but
And for
and my rebuttal, and not my rebuttal to that, like the live crowd. Not everybody watches NXT, obviously.
right. But
But
enough
since
people at
the
home
news
did.
broke on Twitter, and then when WWE themselves said those four would be participating, um,
Yeah. It ginned up interest. And Matt's, like I said, Matt's right. This is a ratings thing. This is an interest thing. But if you're pulling a 3.5, 3.05 in that first hour, I can't remember the last time Raw did a 3 in any hour recently.
I mean,
August. Go ahead,
they
sir.
took Becky Lynch off of TV, so they have to do something.
Wow, right on time. I had that marked and everything.
And Matt in the Daily said, "I'm not really sure I have anything to rant about this week." I said, maybe time screen," and he put a question mark, and
Now, like, what does that mean?
or screen time. I mean, yeah.
Um, all I
AA,
want to say is,
did you catch any of Raw?
Nope.
Uh, Too busy. I'm sorry, I have to. I love you to death. You're my best friend ever, but too busy
chasing
face
pavement.
palming. And Adam doesn't even like you that much, and he used the same joke.
That is not right, sir. So we
Did you read the recaps, or I know, and it really, one thing we didn't touch on the live right after Elimination Chamber, because he talked about it later that night and Monday and even earlier Tuesday. And I don't want to use your shoot name, even though I have,
Go
but
ahead.
Miss Julia does love me. Yeah, she really does.
uh, too much love around here. All right. Um, so we get out of the battle match and all that. And then there's a backstage segment. I know there is because there always is. Uh,
Uh-uh. Not on WWE, sir. They would never.
what was the backstage segment this time?
Which one?
Right after the Balor Ricochet match, all that. They, I know they went to commercial. I went to backstage. Because like I said, they always do. Did anything important happen, or should I just get right to DIY revival?
Oh, oh, you're talking about the DIY. Um, yeah, you're
The
talking about the
DIY
raw. Yeah,
revival and Chad and Gable. Chad and Gable, son of a.
Rude and Gable.
Thank you, Allie.
but she didn't watch it. But she knows more than you.
Look, that's not a high bar.
You got and I use this disclaimer all the time. I have to watch it through USA Net. I don't do nefarious ways. But watching through USANetwork.com through legal ways, thankfully through
Just get to the point
shit
and
out.
stop trying to bring attention to yourself.
Well, um, when it like pauses, like when it will load on the network, like it just goes back to where it was on USA Network. Sometimes it'll skip ahead, but yes, there was a
It was set up for the tag match, if I'm not mistaken.
yes,
So we get to the tag match, DIY revival, and look, these guys went out and did what they've done before. Side note: happy to hear that Champ is fine
yes.
because his back got messed up.
That was actually SmackDown, sir.
I'm just in general, in
Well,
general.
true. Like the sentiment stays the same, but the
Yeah, the injury almost happened on SmackDown. DIY revival, and again, great showing. Crowd was a little aloof, and I understand. Again, we saw the NXT team go over the main roster team, and this time it was your tag champions. So here's where I'm gonna, start to ask the question: what are we doing here? Because now it's one thing to go over Bobby Lashley and Leo Rush. It's another to go over your tag team champions on your quote unquote flagship show.
that what, and especially given the time frame of when Revival had just won
Right.
the week before. Um, that it's obvious without such obvious answers. If that makes any sense to anybody that's done college kind of theoretic stuff, like you want to make the NXT talent the DIY. You don't want to like, hey, here's Champa and Gargano. Has anybody opened chat for one?
No, but I
Eh,
can.
please. Did anybody post a link in the nightly for another?
I did.
Thank you. Um, because we're getting quite a following, and I would like to keep that continuing. Um, but you you can kind of see on the writing on the wall of, yeah, it kind of makes the main roster guys, questionable. Like you're kind of undermining them, but you
Yeah.
don't do this and also make, hey, here's four of the top superstars from NXT and lose
Right.
thing.
And we'll get into this as we get into SmackDown. It'll be an overlapping theme, so to speak. So,
Yes,
uh,
because spoiler alert, it happens both episodes.
right. So after DIY wins, another whatever commercial break. Have we
Before you
got
get
to?
to commercial break, DIY and Revival work so well together.
Yes.
And I know there's a
There's,
lot of complaints of, but John, they just all of a sudden put Johnny and Tomasa back, and there is no backstory or miss me with all that shit. Just miss me with it.
they that story had become so convoluted. It's better if they drop it and forget about it and go back to being DIY than trying to explain it.
And for those, oh, Mox might have a little hot take here. They
No, not
fucked
you.
that story up in NXT in the
Yes.
last
Yeah.
month. It didn't just happen Monday on Raw. They already fucked it up. Come on now. Don't blame it on, well, Raw sucks or Lafayette crowd sucks. They already fucked that story up long ago just in NXT. Don't pull this card of, well, they put them on Raw and Vince or whatever way you want to put it, fucked it up. No, that story was fucked up months ago.
NXT ran that story into the ground. So the best thing to do is to move on from it and let's get on track with something new, and that's what they're doing. Um, so we come back. What happens after this match, Mox?
I swear to God, if you're talking about the Lacey Evans,
Is that what came next? Yes, it is. Heavy machinery came out. Cut some sort of heavy machinery. What are they doing with heavy machinery, FYI? Someone tell me.
stakes and weights.
Oh, that's disappointing. Um,
But
and,
and I still and I know some people call me naive. I, first
well,
and
that's not the
foremost,
only thing we call you.
well, I'm aware. First and foremost, and I don't use this card often, and I'm not even really gonna use this card here. Um, one person on this podcast has been watching wrestling longer than I, so I'm not naive to what's going on to anything. But to uh, and saying all that made me lose my train of thought. But the Lacey Evans shit is just like on our live after Elimination Chamber. I'm getting because it happened at Elimination Chamber and on Raw. I'm more pissed at Renee Young's commentary about Lacey Evans than I am about the Lacey Evans doing the Abe Simpson from The Simpsons turnaround.
Doing her little turn on the catwalk. On the catwalk. Doing her turn on the catwalk.
Turn around. Every
Every
now
now
and then I get a.
and then, a little bit. Sorry.
So we got a Right Said Fred and Damn you guys. But it's just so. You can't even say it's over the top. It's just stupid. It's
First
just
of all,
stupid.
whatever they're doing with this Lacey Evans thing doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't pique my interest about her. It doesn't make me want to see her in action. It does none of that. Second,
Eh,
Renee Young is supposed to be a neutral or babyface commentator. I don't know what her role is supposed to be, but her gushing over this obvious heel character.
She's the classiest woman I've ever met, and like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
And unfortunately, guys, we'll talk about this again during SmackDown. But
uh,
it's just such a like, at least because some people have compared it to the Eva Marie stuff from a few years ago. At least then there was some substance is such a strong word using here, but there was something. This is just literally what the fuck.
her gimmick is she can't read a call sheet because she just comes out randomly and walks back. But she
Shout
comes out.
out to former writer for Cage Side Seeds, Bill Henstock, for
Yeah, I totally ripped him off. Yes, yeah, I did. Uh, so she comes out when heavy machinery does her promo. Comes out, walks right back.
and you know
Okay.
who that's killing?
Heavy machinery.
Exactly. It's not even Lacey. It's kind of all three, but in the scheme of things, who it's killing, who is one of a Rocky Mountain Pro alum and Dozer, you're killing three new people at once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they already did that with the Alexa Pretty Lady. Like, they could have at least gone somewhere with that, and they've just went this way. And
they haven't presented heavy machinery as a legitimate tag team, and I don't think they're going to. So I mean, honestly, we could move on because there's nothing there here. I think what happened next? Anybody? I'm starting to black out.
sir,
I know.
blink
It,
twice if
I'm
Todd is being held is held is
I'm
holding
not
you
blinking.
hostage.
I'm not blinking at all. Um, After this, did we not get our? That is when did Bailey and Sasha make their?
Right after that, I believe. I have to keep my phone locked, so I say battery. But I believe right after this. And speaking of the dead crowd stuff, and, oh, they were silent the whole night. No, during the Triple H promo, they did do it. Kofi, Kofi, Kofi. Yeah, it wasn't like, a stone cold, glass shattering pop, but they did chant Kofi. And they did finally get their shit together with the "You deserve it, you deserve it" during the Bailey Sasha segment, which was, of
Short.
course, well, it was short. And how could we fuck it up more? Let's have Nia Jackson, Tamina come out.
Which is what I'm sure everybody wanted. Matt, how did you like this presentation and the start out for the new new women's um, tag team champions?
It should have been the Iconics.
I knew he
That's
was
all
going to
that
do
needs to
it.
be said.
Again, I'm setting
Okay,
him up, and he's not disappointing.
he never does. That's
Because of the Iconics one, we wouldn't have to have seen Nia and Tamina.
well, they could have showed up on SmackDown, but
Or the
uh,
Iconics could have showed up on Raw.
I mean, SmackDown wants to have good ratings, right?
oh,
Do
good
that.
grief, good grief. Stick to what happened and
That's
like
first of all.
Lafayette. Go ahead.
That's first of all good at the fact WWE and Sasha and Bailey in their promo confirmed that those belts will be defended across the three brands: SmackDown, Raw, and NXT. So that is going to be a thing. So yay, I like that.
So what does everybody jump to? Everybody, Sky Pirates.
I want it. I'd like it more than I would Nia and Tamina.
Sir, for once in your 29-year life, you're not wrong.
I'm generally not, but you'll come to find
Well,
out. Why are they giving this shot to Nia and Tamina first? Is it because they don't want to give them that Mania build? That
and that's and let's be honest. Here we're speculating on. Not saying you're wrong, but that was just a bad.
we have to
Um,
go. We
for those that don't know, not a son of a bitch. Sasha and Bailey are celebrating, which in defense, so I'm not just like always pro this or pro that. The back and forth with Sasha and Bailey on the mic was kind of a bit off, but then we get interrupted by, oh, you think you can, you're gonna do bad on the mic? We'll prove you wrong. Here comes fucking Nia Tamina.
yeah. I don't agree with this being the first feud out the chute, but they're gonna have to pace themselves. Who knows what's gonna happen at Mania? Whether it be a current team.
Can we just make that a broader statement? A broader statement of Nia and
Who
Tamina
knows
just
what's gonna
need.
happen at Mania?
No, let's just. I'm talking about the pacing themselves. Can Nia and Tamina just pace themselves, period? Like,
Right out of the building. I'm just saying. I don't enjoy them. I'm sorry, I just don't. But fine. If this is going to be the match at Fastlane, fine. Just nothing past that. We don't know what's going to happen at Mania with the tag belts. Um, so whatever. Oh, it frustrates me because
I I was
the
so
riots are
hoping.
right there.
My yeah. See, you and I.
The
Okay,
riots are right
off
there.
camera, Rice and I love each other. Like we on camera, Rice and I can't stand each other.
Well, it's
Um,
also a little off camera, but it's fine.
well, true, but that was my thing. Like, not just to anybody. Any. Where's the 1995 like Cleveland Indians? Like two of those people. Somebody. Anybody.
Nobody else. The riots are right there. The iconics are right there. They could have really give these two girls Sasha and Bailey a good feud going into Mania, so that way they'd have momentum. Instead, they're
The,
going to give them chumps going into Fastlane with the hopes that they can build something going into Mania.
the only thing I
No
disagree
moment.
there was the SmackDown women, and I know they said, across all brands, right then wasn't really a place to do it. But we and see, this is where you get into the problem is Fastlane is only 2 weeks away now.
Yeah, next week
Eh,
isn't next week the go home?
Um, it's 2 Sundays from this Sunday is Fastlane. Make a tournament of some sort to lead to WrestleMania, but inter-brand tournament since it's going to be defending against all brands. Have some kind of tournament, and the winner of the tournament faces Sasha and Bailey. But don't just straight put again. And
Yeah,
the term Morris coin Sunday. Don't put Wout against Sasha and Bailey on in their first offense.
the worst of all time.
Yes, like don't do that.
So after Sasha and Bailey's segment, we get to what did happen. God, I'm losing my mind.
I don't know the
Well,
order they was in, but I pulled it up.
Please help me.
Okay, there was Black taking on Elias.
yeah,
That
Elias getting interrupted by Aleister Black was, and yes, sorry guys, you've been listening to me over a year. I'm a Tommy fucking and Mark like you won't believe. So that was very cool.
and it was good opening. That's not the greatest match in the world because, but Black Mass, everybody, Black Mass on Monday Night Raw. Yay! The
And I've seen some things, and I want all um. AA, I know you didn't watch, but um, for those of us that did, and AA, um, give your opinion just because you're also a Tommy End fan, aka Aleister Black. Was this not one of Elias's better matches?
From what I read, it was.
this is probably Elias's best match since he's been called up.
Matt?
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
It wasn't a bad match. Like, and this was, and I'm also an Elias fan. Like, I love Elias. I walk with Elias.
Uh, and now, yes, Aleister Black did go over. So here we are, Monday Night Raw. You have four call ups or whatever. Win. We'll get.
Right before we go to SmackDown, I know you're running out of time because it's already going 12 o'clock your time.
We do have to get
Um,
to the main event on Raw, though.
but real quick, and not to spoil or anything from SmackDown, the because the same four call ups happen on SmackDown. Um, what do you think about how these four, nothing prior, nothing like these four call ups, and how the matches went? You think it worked? I'm asking Adam specifically in case he has the jet.
The call ups, bottom line, and this is what I'm going to say on the matter. Because as we'll find out on the next night on SmackDown, these same four wrestle and without I'm going to spoil the result, but I'm not going to spoil the match. So if you don't want to know, plug your ears now. All four went on SmackDown. So in 2 nights, you had your NXT, your developmental quote unquote wrestlers come up to the main roster and beat established stars, except for Eric Young. He doesn't count. I know, sorry, I just spoiled a competitor, but I have to point that out. Eric Young has been a joke thus far, and sorry, I don't care.
One of the best tweets I saw over the Monday, Tuesday wrestling live blog things on Twitter was, huh, I forgot Eric Young was still on the main roster, or was on the roster.
Yeah,
So at least there's that.
but the second you decide to make that decision, NXT is no longer a developmental brand. Let's stop it.
Bullshit.
It's not. Your developmental guys beat your main roster guys. NXT, that means NXT is just as good as Raw and SmackDown. It's the third brand. I know we've all kind of known this, but to me, that ends NXT's developmental aspect. You're now that is now a brand that is now there's no equivocating because you as purely from a logical booking standpoint, you're not bringing up guys to have them go over guys who's been on your weekly television, unless those guys are as good as those people. And if they are, then by having them win, that is the message you're sending. So NXT is as good as Raw. All the talent. And NXT talent, no matter who they are, should now, from here on in, be able to walk into Raw and SmackDown and win. That's what it means.
Yeah, this is and my microphone. I love my Bluetooth headset, but sometimes it falls out of my ears. I heard what you said, but I don't know if you guys can hear me. So give me just a
Yeah.
second. Um.
But
Okay.
and
Let's see if it.
and
Um.
let me.
Go ahead.
I want to open that up to you guys. Knowing that the NXT stars went over the main roster stars, how does that shape your opinion at all about NXT as a brand?
I think that was the point.
I mean,
Beyond Page debuts, goes over AJ Lee, wins Divas champion. Like this is for far beyond that. This is um, with a caveat of they're if they're in NXT, they're developmental, like just by circumstance. But I think this is damn it. I and this is stupid earbuds. I don't have to use Bluetooth. I can just I'm Bluetooth you and just do my like I normally do. So you fall out of my ear one more time, and you'll be sent back down to the minor leagues. But this was it was a statement.
yeah,
We're just as good as you, if not better.
Matt, how do you feel about the NXT guys going over the main roster people?
It's a double-edged sword for sure because on one hand, you have to have the NXT guys get some shine on their debut, but at the same time, having like the Raw Tag Team Champions lose like exactly 1 week after winning the titles, I don't think that's a good thing at all.
I agree with you, but look who the tag time, look who the team was, and I mean that not offensively, but it's Adam.
No, you're right. They haven't.
Adam, word for me here. I
The
hate
revival haven't
asking
meant
you.
anything up until last week, basically.
Yeah.
So, but they're still the Raw Tag Team Champions, and they still went over another tag team on SmackDown, a very established tag team. So,
Of Adam Rice and Max Lopez
if
show
I'm
up
getting
and
the if I'm getting their paycheck, I'll take an
and
ass whipping for a paycheck.
there's your severance pay, sir. I
Unless
hope
it's
you.
asphalt.
Poor AA.
Allie, just hearing it on its face value,
Why did you have to use the word face? Like,
I did it unintentionally. I did it unintentionally, but now I'm secretly proud of myself.
It was a
Um,
good one.
hearing it just now, taking it on what it is. How do you view NXT talent in their debuts going over main roster talent?
I think they should. I think it's well, as Metal Matt said, it is a double edged sword. But I think if they want them to go over talent, they should not go over the champions. So the champions are supposed to be the best at the time. But there's enough that aren't carrying gold that they can go over. And both teams look good.
this is the one time I would make exception to that rule. I agree completely with AA, except in this one instance, if that makes sense.
Because
Because it's for one, saying this is what um the words get used and the like casuals and this wasn't a bad time. I didn't like it per se, especially since how they had just won it. But
yeah, I understand what you're saying about the where the revival actually are on the ladder, even though they're champions. But
I think this was acceptable to me. This literally one time, like this was a and and I also look at it on the flip side of the coin of and they did NXT tapings tonight and not doing spoilers or anything. Like maybe that's it's kind of hard to look at Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano and not think of DIY and they had such great matches in NXT. And what does it really hurt that they go over the revival that literally just won the championship the week before? Sometimes we make mountains out of molehills, and this might be one of the times.
I would just say that is not how I would have handled it. That's not how I would have booked it. But I'm not getting paid to book Raw, so it really doesn't matter.
You're too busy working for the government.
Yes. But still, if they want to hire me, I'm not going to say no. Um, but I do want to get to Raw's the main event. I know I'm probably skipping something, but I don't care.
You're actually skipping quite a bit, but Let's get to the main event.
What
Oh, well, yeah. Let Ellie run through. We don't have to discuss every little thing, but let Ellie run through what parts we have skipped. I know it's midnight your time.
Okay, you missed all the Lesnar hype videos.
Oh, Paul Heyman
Did we?
fighting to Paul Heyman is
Did
pure
we though?
gold.
Did we?
did we miss anything? Really?
Not really. Ronda Rousey defeated Ruby Riot.
And that is something I really wanted to touch on. So it's my fault.
Hey,
Um, Drew
Um,
she lasted
McIntyre
a minute
squashed
more.
Dean Ambrose.
yeah, that squash happened.
Lucha House Party
the
defeats Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins.
That's a
The
thing that happened.
backstage segment of the Seth Dean thing was the best thing that came out of all of that. Of hey, you didn't have my back. Where were you? And said, really, bro? And Dean was like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Eh,
he just
and
kind of walked away.
that's it.
Let Ruby and Rhonda close the show, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Two things I want to touch on. First one, the rumor is that wasn't supposed to be Ruby on Raw. It was supposed to be Alexa Bliss, and Vince pulled her. Vince pulled her because he didn't know what kind of match they were going to get.
hold on. Okay, I have my tinfoil hat on, so continue.
I am, which is probably a legit concern, but personally speaking, I'm worried about this girl's health. I know she's been cleared, but she hasn't wrestled really since the Rumble. So we once again have to be on alert. But second, I'm happy they gave Ruby a match to show what she can do. But that's not enough.
2 minutes 45 seconds.
Exactly. Not even 3 minutes. After not even going 2 minutes
1 minute 40 seconds.
at the Elimination Chamber. Also, Ronda, stop climbing to the top rope. Just stop. Please. You about killed Sarah and Liv. And they
About blew both her fucking knees out, but that's
stop it. You are a MMA shoot fighter. You don't have to be an aerial person. Stick to your feet on the ground, work people, wreck shit. That's your job. Happy for Ruby to get that little bit of match time. But again, I don't like sacrificing Ruby Riot to Ronda Rousey.
two times in one night, or 2 times in 2 nights. Sorry, back to back nights is what I was trying to say. Well, my if you guys can't tell, well, my medicine hit. It hits.
They have Mickey James. They have Dana. They have Alicia Fox. And I'm not trying to say this to disparage those women, but I would rather see them get served to Ronda than Ruby Riot. They have, in my opinion, almost completely devalued the Riot Squad.
Oh, they have.
Yeah,
And
and that's and I know there's talk amongst us of devaluing and with more of a conscious devaluing and but holy fuck have they
And let's not
Wow.
forget, Ruby didn't get an entrance. They commercial breaked her. She got the no entrance treatment. How else am I supposed to read that?
You know how they want the crowd to read it
They want the
unimportant.
exactly. They want her to look as not as important after they spent they tried to make us believe through promos and Twitter that no, Ruby's on tough opponent. She's on Ronda's level. And in 2 times and 2 nights they nope, that's not the case.
And that it's such bullshit, and it's so easy to rectify. It's not a matter of I'm not using, please dear Lord, do not put me with the road dog. Wins and losses don't matter.
Yes, they
It's
do.
how they do, but more importantly,
Well,
how, when, it's the other things that matter.
welcome to the Mox House.
Oh God, he's calling you road dog. Oh my God, you don't have to live with that, sir. I'm sorry. Look. I'm speaking as a Riot Squad fan. I understand that. I have a degree of bias here, but there is an issue when you
I'm
do
just
things.
surprised you have a degree until I find out what university you got that degree from, it, and then it kind of makes sense.
Oh, shut up. But then this isn't just a Ronda Ruby thing. This is a roster thing. They do this to a lot of people. So
Can can I'll let you finish, and then because I'm in the mood for a monk's rant. Uh,
yeah,
Yeah.
go, go for it, go
No,
for
no,
it.
you
I
finish,
really,
sir.
I really didn't
I
have much else to add there. This,
I always like my bed sheets finished from first. So go ahead.
uh,
Oh, sorry, that
uh,
was uncalled for.
yes, it was. They. I'm not speaking only as a Ruby fan. I'm speaking as a wrestling fan here. Find a better way to do these kind of matches. Because down the road, you're going to want to use the Riot Squad for something. Or at the very least, you're going to want to use Ruby or Sarah or Liv. Devaluing them now hurts them in the long run.
Hello, can you not see like a snowstorm where you I can only see 6 inches in front of me or a foot in front of me. Like, okay, eventually that snowstorm's gonna pass, so you're gonna have to be able to see. But what else did you have to add to that?
Nothing really. And as a matter of fact, I might hop off and just I'll miss the SmackDown review because I need to hit the head.
Oh
Because
man,
Hey, it's for
SmackDown,
horses.
are you proud of yourself?
cows eat grass.
Because SmackDown honestly was a lot of the same with a few different things. Uh, Except the whole they just decided to throw Asuka in the trash, but that's it. I want to shut up now or I'm going to make myself angry. Mox, you can go on your rant now.
Well, nobody likes Adam, much less Adam when he's angry. I am so sick. and fed up with, and I don't, the overbooking, the streaks, the everything that things evolve around, where everybody else is left in the shuffle of 50-50 or worse booking. This fucking nonsense of, okay, did I go to the chamber thinking Ruby was gonna win? No. When it got announced Ruby was gonna face Ronda again at on Monday Night Raw, did I think Ruby was gonna win? No. But this um hierarchy is kind of, there's a way to lose and still look good, and when you can't even do that fucking right, that irks me. That draws my ire of, because it's so simple to have a dominant person versus, based on booking, a semi dominant person who also has a faction with her, and you still geek them out like they're nothing. I hate that shit. That's why I've hated Asuka since I love Kana from the Japan days. Love her. But since her NXT run and this whole undefeated streak and any kind of monster streak, or any kind of, use the word streak period, it immediately takes me out of my ability to enjoy a match. The one fucking time of all times it happened was with uh, Charlotte's 14-0 in pay per view. She's not losing to Bailey, and lost to Bailey, and that was just completely sidewashed.
On a Fastlane pay per view, no less.
Yeah, exactly. Like that even doubles down on, it's just a stupid way of character building, storytelling. It's just so nonsensical. It's just, I cannot stand that way of, and it's beyond the, well, gotta make so and so look strong. Gotta, like, it's not even that. Like, that's bad enough. But this bullshit of, well, and there are some exceptions, and one of the highlights of that exception is the Undertaker at WrestleMania, because Undertaker took so many losses and looked so bad in between WrestleManias, and we're not talking like WrestleMania 32, or like we're saying way before that, or I am like that was one kind of streak, but this evolving a character around that kind of booking is just so off-putting to me, where I don't give a fuck. Like, I honestly don't.
They Taker's streak was different because it had only they only focused on it one time a year, and outside of that time of year, he was largely booked like a normal, like a rest, just like a top guy. Top guys win, top guys lose. It happens. The streaks in the 50-50 booking screams we only know a way of doing things in only a couple different ways. When I know that's just false.
And exactly, the Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, what everything else he did during WWE didn't revolve around he's undefeated at WrestleMania. Like they told different stories in between. But the streaks and the I just
Well, I enjoyed that, and that's actually going to be my cue to leave. Thanks again, guys. Always enjoy being here. I'm going to skip my plugs this week because I really need to head to bed. I'm really feeling it. So, but thanks again for having me, and
my bitch.
hope you all have a good rest of the show. Bye.
Great, and
You
we'll see you
can
next
find him
time.
at PWFan01 on Twitter. Bye bitch. I can give him a hard time because he is one of my best friends. But if you want to reach out to Adam, his Twitter handle is at PWFan01. And you can find him arguing with me usually anywhere you find wrestling discussions. I just don't like that kind of booking. I don't. It worked well with Goldberg for a while, and even then, eh. Am I talking amongst myself?
Nope, we're here. But I agree with you on that. It's they can do it. There is ways to do it. They've shown they can do it. They're just too lazy to do it.
Yeah. And that goes not just like a slander towards WWE, because other promotions do it, and it just doesn't always seem to work so well. Most of the time, if you will. Matt, what happened in old MLW this week?
Well, this week the main event was Teddy Hart versus MJF to determine the undisputed middleweight championship, which Teddy Hart then won.
You missed the best. You didn't talk about the best part of the match.
Oh, Teddy Hart ended up bringing his cat to the ring.
As they say on Total Divas, Natalia's friend.
And since MJF was in the same ring as the cat, there's a joke to be made here.
Make it. You're gonna. You make it.
Mm,
I,
I think I
I forgot.
resist. I think I resist the sinister urge.
Oh, dang it. And I already know, but who won MJF versus Teddy Hart?
Teddy Hart.
What are we supposed to be referring to Teddy Hart now as the returning Teddy Hart? He switches his Twitter name up a lot. It was I'm Back Teddy Hart, then the returning Teddy Hart. Anyway, what else happened?
All right, so I got the results here. And Richard Holiday, after the match, attacked Teddy Hart. So it looks like MJF and Richard Holiday have formed a bit of a union, so to speak.
Since he follows me on Twitter, I'm not gonna say anything bad, but I cannot stand MJF. I've given him reasons as to why, and he understands.
And we also got Rich Swan versus Ace Austin. And Ace Austin get the upset win. And after the match, Rich Swan attacked the referee as well as Rich Brokini.
Rich Swan attacks people? Shocking.
Yeah, and also in storyline, Rich Swan has also been fined and suspended.
Wow. Hey, Buried Alive says that MJF is a good egg.
Well, Buried Alive, oh, he's in the chat. Buried Alive, you know, you and I occasionally see eye to eye, but when it comes to stuff like this, like you and I, sir, we have a lot of bones to pick. I love BA, like really do. Usually we get along, but we're like picking on each other. What's the next match?
And we also had Alexander Hammerstone making his MLW debut versus Ariel Dominguez. It wasn't really anything special.
I'll go and say it. Not surprising.
So overall, it was a decent episode of MLW.
No, Selena Dorita. You know anything about her and the? No. Boo. Since I guess if you guys, I know, Matt, you got to go in about what 29 minutes,
About so,
Midnight.
yeah.
Um, and I know. Thank you, Adam, for staying long. Um, SmackDown.
Yes, I pulled up SmackDown results since I didn't watch it.
Matt, did you get a chance to watch it after work? Or you were? No, you were at work.
No, I watched it last night.
See, your boss is going to start faxing me your schedule because I get days confused. You you work Monday when you're supposed to be at the house show, and then off yesterday. Okay, so want to do a quick rundown of SmackDown?
Sure.
Well, lead us off.
Trying to think what happened.
Okay. What about Asuka versus Mandy Rose?
Ugh.
Oh, she's
Uh,
gonna go. She went for the. Hold, my microphone fell out. You guys go ahead.
Dead air. Dead air.
I'm back, better than ever.
Okay, we
That's
can
one
hear
thing.
you.
One thing I, if I don't get my this Bluetooth microphone just right, like it just like falls on the floor. Um, but Matt, what were your thoughts on this match or on this period?
the match honestly sucked. It really did. And the fact that they had Mandy win, I know that they need to have somebody face Asuka at Fastlane for the title, but there are better ways to do it.
Do you remember since Royal Rumble, like every article, where's Asuka? Where's Asuka? Where's Asuka? Here's Asuka. And guess what?
It's
She
like we
just lost to Mandy Rose.
it's like we wish for Asuka to come back on a monkey's paw.
Yeah, and I get that reference. This was no, like a Family Guy, Consuela. No, no. And I don't mind Mandy winning here, but not after Asuka not being on SmackDown for a few weeks. Like, this isn't how you bring back the person that, no offense, Matt, but last time we saw her, she was tapping out Becky. And then she loses to Mandy Rose. Like, no, no, don't do this.
Becky's sacrifice was in vain.
Becky's sacrifice got her to the main event of WrestleMania. I know you don't want to hear it. I know. But this was just, even Metal Match Chair has an opinion. This was just dumb. And yes, there was some distraction, the fake eye poke injury thing, and with the roll up, and uh, just dumb. There's one thing, and this goes back to like the Revival losing to DIY on Raw the previous night. Like, that's one thing. Losing to Mandy Rose the next night in a singles match, that's another. And I don't hate Mandy Rose like at all. Well, to some degree, but this was not the time to, after you left Asuka off TV for since the Rumble. This was just a bad look, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of course, you can tell Matt's playing games in the background. Like, what BWP? I'm trying to level up here. What game are you playing?
I'm not playing any game.
Oh, I thought I heard you tapping and leveling up games.
No.
That must be AA. AA, what game are you playing?
I'm not playing a game. My s- my text messaging is going off.
Oh, for once it's not me. What else happened?
Um, Miz got Shane to get them a rematch at Fastlane for the tag titles.
Oh yeah, and social media. I thought there weren't any more contractual rematch clauses.
There there wasn't, but he talked Shane into using his power to do it
Yeah, Shane used his McMahon power, and now here we are.
because they got away with that rematch thing back in December.
Yeah, um, which I'm not really against like some rematches, but because I thought they would do this last pay per view, but that isn't the writing on the wall. This is where Shane and Vince, or Shane and Miz, break up, and we get a Shane Miz match at WrestleMania. Surely, don't call me Shirley.
Maybe.
Matt, what do you think?
I don't care about the storyline, to be honest.
Well, I know, but you have to give some kind of thought into it. I know it includes the Miz and it and I agree it's a pretty dumb storyline and not much thought should be put into it. But well, I'll go ahead and let you off the hook here because I don't want to have us put more thought into the storyline than apparently they're actually doing on their end. So what's next?
What's next is Aleister Black defeats Andrade.
Good match. Best part of this match is Selena is married to Black and Andrade's corner. Fun stuff when you look at things the way I look at it. Like, hey, you're married to him, but you're representing him, and that kind of nonsense. Plus, even outside that, like Andrade, Sion, and I will never not put Sion in the Amish name. Like that's just, can they put on a bad match? I don't think so.
And then there was DIY defeats the Bar.
Yeah, I've said this before. Not about this match, but the Bar as a team. We know how we all know Sheamus with his stenosis and I really appreciate like they're prolonging his career and whatnot, and he's doing his own thing to prolong it with his workouts. But I'm so over the Bar. No pun intended, but
And then the last one was Ricochet defeats Eric Young.
my favorite part of this match was Twitter going, Eric Young still works for the WWE? That was, and I like Eric Young. He's not the best, and he's definitely not like what he's supposed to be as leader of sanity. But some of the memes and stuff on Twitter were pretty good to follow during and after SmackDown. There was even some because there's a former Astro named Eric Young that wait a minute, he went from baseball to wrestling. Just a whole lot of the memes were better than the match itself. What do you think, Matt?
Um, that was a decent debut. I mean, it was what it was. I just wish Sandy would be used better.
Same. Like, if I'm thinking the way you're thinking, like from the word go, like months ago, like several months ago, like bringing them all up at once, including Nikki Cross, and they're not kind of stakes and weights yet, but they're getting pretty damn close.
And that was it.
Just a quick point back to this actually happened in New Orleans, where a New Orleans crowd would do so much better than the Lafayette crowd, and they were kind of the same to a degree. It's not like there was, jumping out of your seat of, Ricochet showing up or
Dead air, dead
dead
air,
air, dead air.
dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air.
I still feel bad for Matt missing the Lake Charles show, the SmackDown house show yesterday. Although apparently some of his favorites weren't actually there, so I don't know if
Yeah,
that.
apparently Becky wasn't there. Apparently the Iconics weren't there.
I'll go and say it. So apparently you didn't miss much.
Not from what I could see.
I know another VWP friend of ours, Mike Denton, did go and had fun, but even that was more his daughter's attending her first show and having fun and stuff. And but this might be a separate podcast altogether that we can think about when the road to WrestleMania used to mean something, and now it's not quite what it used to mean. If that makes sense.
A little.
Yeah, I'll take a little.
Of course, right now my face hurts. So.
Well, quit getting in all these.
Hardcore matches with asphalt.
I was gonna say hardcore matches with John Moxley, but I have to bring up John Moxley every day until whatever happens. But yes,
Matt
same
doesn't know,
difference.
does he?
Wait, what?
Matt doesn't know what happened to me today.
I think I did. I think I read it really briefly before I came in here. Sorry to hear about that.
He's
Yeah,
not sorry. He laughed. He laughed. I sent him pictures and everything. He laughed. There's so many LOLs that I can't count. No, I don't think he actually knows.
yeah. I just gotta quit those hardcore matches with asphalt.
When your opponent's name Asphalt, like, yeah, I mean, one of two options. Either you ask for a pay grade, like, and up, or you just decline the match altogether. Like,
Oh,
I
it was a
wouldn't do that again.
handicap match.
Well,
Don't
true.
forget Curb.
So next time, get paid more. Know your worth. That's an
Oh,
AEW reference.
speaking of know your worth, apparently word is that Ty Dillinger has requested his release.
Yeah,
Yes,
I read that.
and I'm assuming that what he posted on Twitter, because it was like screenshots. I'm assuming that if he posted all that, they requested his release. Um, and I know we're live on air. Wing wants to know if we're still chatting,
Wing, wing, wing.
but we're about to wrap up. I guess we can. I'll send him a link when we get off air. Um,
Sigh.
but well, okay then. You're the one that has the midnight curfew, and it's 11:53. But okay, I'll send him a link. Oh, I can't because I started the pod.
You can
I
send it
guess
But
though.
I'll have to send the link.
Send the link. We have to have his favorite five list.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't think he would have that much in depth would have been posted. Obviously, first you have to. It was sent, or he asked for it, but then you get to the was it actually granted thing. So we flooding Wing with links.
Nah,
Why not? Why not?
he's a good
But then,
egg.
yeah,
Because I like his best of five list.
I love that kid. And but anyway, SmackDown, Raw, both were
Well,
what's the
from
word I'm looking for? Serviceable. Like they accomplished things.
from what I read, SmackDown was a little bit better than Raw.
SmackDown typically is, but they. I mean, we enjoyed both. Um, Speaking of which, before we get rudely interrupted by a top five countdown, son of a bitch.
A top five? I heard top five somewhere.
Sir,
It's it's
sir,
Angel.
What are we? What are we
uh,
top fiving?
um, nothing at the moment except for let me do, do a quick thing because five five kids are out of school for the week. Um, Morris, it will be out Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So,
Oh,
and this is actually being sprung upon AA, the founder, the chairman of the board. We might be doing, depending on what happens or what AA says, another kids takeover with Morris and Five and his kids, and that was literally just brought up a couple hours ago. So I haven't had a chance to off air talk about it, but
That sounds great.
cool.
it's got to happen.
Definitely got to happen.
It's got to happen. So I just wanted anybody that, because I know the like any good promoter, I know the kids are the draw. So um, um, I can't Morris can't do it tomorrow, but maybe like Friday or Saturday we'll do
I won't be here
another.
Friday.
Neither
Well,
will
I
I.
wonder where you could be. Where possibly could you be Friday?
Friday, I'm going to be down watching RMP,
Uh oh.
RMP, RMP, RMP.
and
But
Marty the
maybe
Moth is
Saturday.
going to be there.
But maybe between sometime again. This was just off the cuff comments, and he's game and they're out of school, and so maybe we'll do a very another special edition of VWP Kid Takeover Kids. So we'll keep it on Twitter and stuff if it's actually going to happen, and because I can't wait because there's a lot to talk about since last time.
They're more valuable than us. What can we say?
They
That's
are the
true.
MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Not cutting off the podcast since Jackass. I'm surrounded by assholes just showed up. Matt, where can they reach you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at melmat15, and you can also catch me on K-Side Seats, hang out in the daily and the nightly. I'm doing a WWE video games review every nightly, so that'll be interesting. And unfortunately, no Ruthless Aggression Era podcast this week. I have to work this Friday. Hopefully next Friday I'll be able to do
And like I told you last time, there's just a few Fridays from now before you own GameStop. So
it.
Yeah, so you won't have to work every Friday. You'll choose your schedule.
you can find me on the Twitter at Fireman6809. Co-host or co-find me at Violent Wrestling Podcast No G on Twitter. Same thing on Twitch. Today actually had some time and got our Twitch and everything kind of sorted out with the site I created a few years ago. We'll save that for another time. But big things to come. Um, hey, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Lady Shauna. You can find me on Twitch at Violent Wrestling Podcast, no G. Or you can find me in the daily and sometimes the nightly at Ambrose Alley.
It'd really help if you actually showed up in the daily every once in a while.
We miss
Yeah, I
you,
would.
AA.
Well, when I show up, none of you guys are there.
I'm always here.
No, you're not.
Not early in the morning, but
Follow all our sister brother channels. Two Guys One Sport. Um, like that wrestling, which I think I'll be on tomorrow, Thursday, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central. Just we're pretty good at if you follow us on Twitter, linking each other to each other. We're not going off live right now since the one, the only, the the man has shown up. But just wanted to get the shout
oh
outs out of the
dear.
way. And in fact, in case we forget, he's at AngelSef16. That's
SEPH
ANGELSEPH16.
on Twitter.
So
Yeah.
we're going to continue, but we were wrapping up. But now that the fun has begun, I think Metal Matt has to bolt here in just a little
I
bit.
can
But
try and stay for a
Well,
few more
he
minutes,
can wait for
but
one. He can wait for one top five.
yes.
sir, nobody wants to hear your top five.
Well,
Yes, we do. Yes, we
we're
do.
gonna have one.
Yay!
Damn,
Are
But
you?
around
th-
12,
this is
10,
where
12:15, I'll have to actually get off of here.
I knew going into the partnership with AA, like I should not have done the 55-45 percentage deal, like because she has more votes than I do.
Here we go. It's coming. I'm doing a top 5 fast food hamburger top 5.
Oh, good God.
Number 5 is the In-N-Out Double Double. It's delicious. It's got the sauce. It's got the bun. It's got the cheese. It's good.
Has nothing to do with the name.
Nothing. Number 4, the ultimate cheeseburger from Jack in the Box. It's just meat and cheese, everything you want, baby.
Except they put fucking ketchup.
I don't know why they do. They shouldn't put any sauce on it, but that's a different story. Number 3 is the Wendy's classic double. The beef tastes good. The veggies are all fresh. It's all good, baby. Number 2. What y'all think it's gonna be? I tell you what it's gonna be. It's the Big Mac. I love the Big Mac. I always have. Side of French fries. It tastes good. Mm. Number 1, Metal Matt. What's number 1?
It's the Whopper.
Double Whopper. The Double Whopper. You got to get double because that's how it goes. Get the taste of that meat. Some mayonnaise, tomatoes, lettuce, cheese. It's all set, baby. And there you go. Your top 5 fast food hamburgers. As everyone escapes listening to us.
And this is how shows get canceled.
Even Buried Alive wanted the top 5.
I will,
MM, have you finished the double whopper, or have you ever ordered one?
I think I have. I think I have.
You ordered and finished?
Yeah.
Wow, you must have been hungry.
Yep.
can I say something kind of sacrilege here?
Sure.
And no, I can't because then I will never hear the end of it.
What?
No, I can't.
You can't walk away now. You're already knee deep.
You already
But then
mentioned it.
we'll lose sponsorships and everything, and
Oh well.
I can't. We're just now making money, and I just can't.
All
I
right.
can't do
In
that.
that case,
So, what's up, Wing? What up?
what's happening? I just got home. It was a long, long day. Extra hours today. Ugh. So I came home, opened a beer, and MM for some reason sent me the link here. So you guys got stuck.
I mean,
Okay.
I keep telling Mox and 8A that we need to bring Angel on.
We try every week, but one thing or
Well,
another.
I know I'm, I'm in tax season and I'm working, and tonight I was ready to go.
And a lot of excuses, sir.
A lot of excuses. You want a top
Because
5 excuses?
no, please don't.
Why not?
I can do it.
We know you can. We believe in you,
Here it
Wing.
comes. No,
We
I'm just
believe
kidding.
because what I want to say
Gotta go
will
outside.
go against everything else that I've ever said before. So
Well, say it.
I I I can't put myself out there like that.
I'll be right back. Cassie the Wonder Dog wants out.
Uh-oh. Okay.
I just can't do it. I don't. I'm not confident enough in myself to say what I want to say.
So, since I came in late, what were you guys talking about before?
I think we might have been
Uh,
finishing up, to be honest.
Well, I know, but
we
I don't
talked
know.
about some porn and
I don't know if I can offer any, additional opinion or nobody cares. That's the other thing.
we were
Because it says we're still
it
live, so.
no.
I mean, since Angel
Oh
is here,
yes,
I mean,
you're
since
the reason.
Angel is here,
We were literally wrapping up and like, oh, Wing wants to come on. So just so you know, AA,
Is
ML,
back.
Well, that
and
was a quick.
myself love you. So
well, since Angel is here,
Ah!
Now I'm the king of the swingers, oh, the jungle VIP. I've reached the top and had to
sir,
stop
we
and
had a rule we don't do this live.
hmm?
Sir, that was established.
Wait, what?
That was established. We do not do that shit live.
It was.
Yeah, I wasn't around for that meeting.
Ouch.
Yeah, what? The only meetings that matter are between AA and myself, and apparently, um,
I wasn't at
um,
this meeting.
well, I have split personalities, so um, I damn it, I don't want to admit this because to some degree it's a falsity, but it might be because it's easily accessible here because we have one, but damn it, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Oh,
Admit it, Mox.
I can't.
To paraphrase Jane's addiction, Mox, just admit
I can't.
it. I hope Angel got that reference.
Yep.
I got the reference to Wounds Addiction. Um, but hypothetically, just out of the just realm of anything possible, if I were to say hypothetically, a Big Mac's better than a Whopper,
I mean,
that's exactly what I would think.
it could
Silence.
be. It could be. But, you
I mean,
know,
that's impossible, I would think.
a Big Mac is very good.
But what
So,
about the Big King XL?
I haven't tried it, so I don't know.
It's good.
Yeah.
But you get so sad.
I got it with the sauce. At least give me credit on that.
No, there's no touching the Whopper, but damn it if
Especially for you.
jerk. I didn't know this was. I'm gonna file suit against like collusion against making mocks like, but damn, the Big Mac's so good.
So's the Whopper.
It see, AA gets me. I still want to try the Big K XL.
So my deal with the Whopper, I mean, sorry, not the Whopper, the Big Mac, is it's got the whole package. So when you get a meal with the French fries and the McDonald's soda, it's perfection. It's like a perfect meal. But the Whopper is a better hamburger. standalone because
We
Burger King
should split
doesn't
this
have
up
the
into
fried,
two,
doesn't have the
two
fries or
lives.
Burger King doesn't have the fries or soda to match the Big Mac meal. But
It's like this body when wrapped in leather. Perfection, and it gets no better.
oh my God, you really just went there.
Just to remind everyone, especially AA, we're still alive.
Oh yeah.
It makes it even better.
Exactly. Like this is you're literally Adam had to bounce because he's an hour ahead of even us, 2 hours ahead of AA, and 3 hours ahead of Wing. And this guy supposedly has some kind of job in the morning and stuff, but this is who we are. Like we're just, I think, and hopefully people will start seeing like we're just friends talking, whether it's wrestling or burgers or even fries for that. It's just
McDonald's has the
friends.
best French fries.
Yep. I mean, that's not even debatable to me. But
Nor to me.
With
straight, I'm talking straight.
one,
I'm talking straight French fries, not crisp cut, not onion
yeah.
rings, nothing else. Just straight up
French
cut
fries.
French fries.
Maybe
Yep,
we need a top 5 French fries.
I can do
Oh
that.
God.
I can definitely do that.
With the caveat that fresh French fries and salty and not under the lamp and soggy. But when McDonald's French fries are fresh, on point, you don't beat it. Like nah.
And they have the simple answer. It's because they know in the factory they flash fry them and then freeze and
I saw. Was it
send
yesterday
them
or
to the
today?
stores and then
No,
fry
I
them
gotta have
again,
my.
baby.
I've gotta have my flash fried. Was it yesterday or today that you made a whole post? No, I need them flash fry, flash freeze, flash cooked, flash freeze, recooked, which is what McDonald's fries are. But damn, they're oh, McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
fries are so good. Oh, this might have been like 3 days ago when we were both having fry cravings. Bring me fries or don't come home at all.
Oh yeah, that's when I went to my Mexican restaurant. Cheeseburger and it was actually quite tasty though, because the
Um,
fries were fried in the same grease as the meat. Oh, delicious.
Oh, that's I like
well,
Renzio's fries too.
real quick, since you weren't for the here for the well, the Raw, SmackDown, and Elimination Chamber. Quick, like he's already playing five down or five
Not
top.
me.
Oh, somebody was.
It wasn't a top
Quick,
five.
quick thoughts on the last 3 days of WWE programming.
Okay.
Like quickly.
Yeah. The Chamber, the right women won. I'm glad. I like that it's across 3 brands. Good. Um,
The right women won, eh?
what?
He's still a little pissy about the Iconics.
Well, they got an elimination. So the
Give
first
him that.
elimination.
They should have gotten all the eliminations.
I wish we could have had a picture of Matt seeing that first elimination. He must have. I think his hair was probably whipping around faster than freaking Eartha Kitt. Anyway, um, I wish Kofi would have won. You know, I don't know what's going to happen at Fastlane. He's not going to win the title, but it's a good story, and everyone's invested. And you can't beat that. Everyone's invested in the story.
They
So,
want the
Perfect,
title on Kofi.
yep.
a
And even if
perfect
he doesn't
cutoff.
win, then everyone was into it. That's great, and I'm happy about that. So,
Because I know Wayne can speak for hours. Trust me, I've been on the other end. Um, okay, so Kofi doesn't win at Fastlane.
mhm.
Do some kind of reason why he doesn't win. Do that match at WrestleMania and he does win, right?
Well, there's a couple options here.
Oh God.
Oh God, you're not finding the right songs there. So I don't know, where was I?
The couple of options.
Yeah. So they could have Luke Harper come out if he's going to ever, you know, re-debut and be part of Daniel Bryan, interfere. That's one way
By
to do it.
this by this time wouldn't it be a re debut?
Yes, but I don't know. It A lot of it sounds like they're trying not to, they're trying to have someone else come through. But that's the only other option I can see. If Kofi doesn't win, then Luke Harper comes out, and then they have a bunch of 3-on-3s and bada bing, bada boom.
Is it not launched just on myself of how they were so trying to work this Becky, Daniel Bryan, underdog, Stone Cold, Vince McMahon angle, and then lo and behold, within 5 days, organically you have the fucking Kofi
Yep,
angle right there.
pretty
Like,
crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to say. And the support he has for the locker room is even more insane because I don't think we've ever seen, even when the Daniel Bryan deal was happening in 30, you didn't have these tweets from wrestlers like "Yes Movement," hashtag. It wasn't happening like that.
well, Twitter was still kind of new.
Well, yeah, but with Kofi, it's everyone's behind him.
the
Everyone.
the best callback in the history
Oh
and
God.
in
And
the history of
I wasn't even
wrestling.
watching wrestling then, but I remember people telling me about that stupid.
Stupid,
Yep.
stupid, stupid.
Mm-hmm. And
Kofi
I wasn't
saying
even
that to
watching then.
Randy
Yep.
Orton.
Mm-hmm.
That is the greatest callback in the history of wrestling, in my opinion.
It
Stupid,
only,
stupid.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it only took that many years, but
Hey,
um,
sometimes, it took
mm-hmm.
Kingdom Hearts 3, 13 years to come out, so
And I'm all for Kofi. I hope he climbs the mountain. I hope he does it. But I think it's a great story they're telling right now. So, and I think they just fell into it. Unfortunately,
bad phrasing when it's,
at the expense of Mustafa Ali. But
yeah.
if it had to, fall onto someone else, I'm glad it's Kofi.
I see the Wonder Dog is back.
Noise.
Well, I'm about to have to make my leave once again. But before I do, I present to you my own top five.
Oh God.
Oh, jeez.
Number five, spicy chicken sandwich. Sure, maybe not the most healthy, maybe not the most sweet and taste that ever hit the tongue, but it's still pretty good every now and then. Number four, Whopper Jr. Yes, Junior. Junior. Just a little small taste of what's to come. Number three, chicken nuggets. Nuggets for $1, can't beat that. Number two,
10. 10 nuggets for $1.
10 nuggets for $1. Anyway, I was saying. Number
And can I
two,
mention mine was only hamburgers? So, but this is everything.
this is everything. Amping it up a little bit. Number two, Bacon King. 2 slices of meat, all beef, cheese, bacon, mayo, and ketchup on top of a sesame seed bun. Now that's a burger fit for a king, let me tell you. And my number
So,
one Burger King item, the one, the only, the original Whopper. And that was my top five.
Good.
Thank you
That's
everybody
the
for
music.
tuning in.
That's the music I should have been playing.
I don't even know what that is. So I just use ESPN instead.
I can go with that list too,
Yeah, that's good.
except for the chicken nuggets.
So thank you everyone for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it, and we'll see you all next week live here on Violent Wrestling Podcast.
Love ya.
love you. Peace.
All
Thanks
right,
for fucking
Matt.
everything up,
Love you.
Wing.
Thanks for. Yep.
Special thanks to my good friend Angel for the top five list inspiration.
Well, thanks for giving me the link so I could jump in and ruin everything.
No problem.
What's that song? I'm trying to remember. You're uninvited. What's that song called? Son of a bitch.
This one.
You're invited, but your friend can't come by Vince Neil. That song is
You're
a banger, as they say.
Oh Lord.
All right, you guys. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, Matt. Thank you.
peace.
All right, thank you.
Night.
Love you.
Love you.
I'm out.
So I guess that's it.
I guess that's it. It's just you and me.
All right. Well. Okay.
Okay.
I love you, AA. Thanks for hanging out. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Love you too. Take
All right. Love
care.
you too. All right. Bye.
Bye. And that's it, folks, for Violent Wrestling Podcast, this edition, episode, whatever you want to call it. See you next week. Same violent time, same violent channel.